There may be trouble ahead, but while there's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, AVAX, let's buy the dips and relax. Welcome people to a new episode of the Suppoman Show. Here with me, the Suppoman. Would you like to learn what are my top 5 long-term holds? Coins which I am going to buy, and I am going to show you my target buy price. And I'm going to show you my target sell price. All of these coins should amount to 100x at least if I get it at the best price, and I sell it at a price I predict it's going to go to. Now, lots of people don't like doing predictions because they're not good at it. But me, I'm pretty good at predictions. I am Mystic Mike when it comes to predictions. So I'm going to be showing you all of this information whilst also letting you know how I foresee the cryptocurrency market going for the foreseeable future. So if you're not aware who I am, my name is Suppoman, your superhero of cryptocurrency. I find you the best coins to hold for the long term, and I have been doing this for 5 years. I have essentially gone from having $100 in cryptocurrency into millions of dollars. So I am living proof. I am proof of work that you can do it as long as you put the work in. Now, let me just make sure I'm live and that you can hear me and everything. I am hoping that this will be a very, very beneficial video for you to watch. So if you're excited to learn about my top 5 holds, make sure you smash a like on this video, you subscribe and join the rest of 112,500 fantastic people that are becoming more woke than the rest of the cryptosphere, and hit the bell notification so you can watch me live when I is live. Right, so let me just share this over to Twitter as well, because lots of people don't get notified that I have gone live. So there we are, done and done. So where do we stand right now? Let's have a quick recap of what has gone on since the last time I did a video. So I showed you in my last video, which I believe was Tuesday, I want to say, is that Bitcoin was in this rising wedge. And as I said at the time, rising wedges are bearish. Now, Bitcoin looked as if it was breaking out, but actually finally succumbed to the bearish pressure of this rising wedge and eventually fell right down to finally, once again, below 20k. A mark which I think is not the bottom, and I don't think we have hit the bottom as of yet. But what has happened since? Well, since going to 19k, what we can see happen here is a bit of what we call a head and shoulders. And the head and shoulders typically goes to the upside, and that is what happened. You know, once the actual pattern completed, then the Bitcoin went above 21,000 towards 22,000, but has once again run out of steam. And now we are back once again in that low 21k zone, and possibly going to be retesting the 20k zone. So anyway, where are we at the moment as far as sentiment? Well, we are very much on a cusp of extreme fear, but I think that this is calm fear, if I'm honest with you. You know, I personally think that there is bullishness re-entering the market where people are thinking we are at a bottom. We are near a bottom. And, you know, last week we were having people say 12k, 14k, 12k, 14k, 10k, 6k. Now we've got people saying this is probably the bottom. I should dollar cost average now in case this is the bottom. Now, I'm not saying whether this is definitely, definitively, you know, we've had the bottom or not. Okay, I can't tell you for sure that we have definitely had it, because anything could happen that could completely change everything. For instance, a spot Bitcoin ETF. This is the catalyst, I think, to the next bull market whenever this lands, whether it lands post-halving or pre-halving. This, I think, is going to be one of the big catalysts to a bull market. And it can hit at any time. So if it hit today, then yeah, it would be over as far as the bottom is concerned. But from everything that has been going on, we are not even close, in my opinion, to the bottom. Because there is so much yet to happen, including a recession, or should I say an announced recession? Okay, so let's have a look and see what is going to be the predictors of the market in the short term. Okay, so first of all, the ProShares short Bitcoin ETF. So a Bitcoin ETF has been granted, but it's purely for the purposes of institutions shorting Bitcoin. Purely for the institutions to take a bet on Bitcoin going down. Now, why has this happened now? Well, because we've got a recession coming. Because we've got a potential bottoming event coming. So it's the absolute perfect time for this to be approved. However, a spot ETF can't be approved. So, institutions can't just get behind the price as it stands right now and buy it, but not hodl it, because the custody would be, essentially the ETF provider would be providing the custody. They would just have exposure to the spot prices. However, that didn't get approved. What got approved was a short Bitcoin ETF, which gives you a sign of coming times, which is that people are going to short, and this is an instrument for people to short. So this, I think, foreshadows what is likely to happen in the short to mid term. We have got the Fed, we've got Jerome Powell saying that interest rates are going to keep rising. Now, I think that a lot of the interest rate hikes have been baked into the Bitcoin price, hence why we have seen such a catastrophic fall from 30k down to 17.5k, which is where we were just on Saturday. So a lot is priced in, a lot of the fear is priced in. Having said that, it shows you that there's going to be at least 2 or 3 months of increased inflation. The likelihood of them increasing it astronomically is not high, but they can raise it to 1% rather than 0.75% in the coming months to really try and curb inflation. The other bit of bearish or bullish news is this, which is that President Biden has essentially said that a second pandemic is on its way. We need more money to plan for the second pandemic. There's going to be another pandemic. Essentially, there's going to be a repeat of the pandemic. I'm not going to say a name just in case I get shadow banned. But there's likely to be a repeat of the pandemic in his eyes. Now, let's face it. Do we truly believe what the government say? Do we believe the last pandemic was a real pandemic? Well, that's up to conspiracy theorists. But this seems like a way to counter, just like in the previous video where he said a recession isn't inevitable, this is a way to counter that more money needs to be pumped back into the economy, not taken out of the economy, which is essentially what we have got with quantitative tightening, which is what is happening here. So this narrative is almost like we need to hurry up with the tightening so that we can go back into easing. Right, so this could also be a catalyst, potentially. Because what happened in the last pandemic? Well, we had a flash crash, black swan event, and then shot up because of the ease instead of the tightening. So we have also got 3 arrows, and I brought you this information the other day, or at least a prelude to this information, which is that essentially Voyager was getting a bailout from Alameda Research of, I think it was 500 million or something like that. But we can see why now, because 3 arrows had a massive exposure to Voyager. Alright, and as a result of that, now Voyager has cut their withdrawal limit by more than 50%. So again, this looks like frightening times for another platform that could go under as a result of 3 arrows capital. So essentially what I've been saying is that the cascades will form as a result of the market. Cascades in the form of Celsius and the people and the money and the treasury, well, the pot of monies that they hold of other people's deposits, and how that could get liquidated. Also 3 arrows capital, the assets they hold and how they can get liquidated and cause a cascade on their side. And of course, the market as a whole has taken down the likes of Luna, and we have got other platforms that could be at stake here. Also, what we have got is we have got a falling hash rate. This says to me that miners are beginning to capitulate. So we have got, I think, on the negative side, we have got reasons to have a Bitcoin short ETF. Because I do think that we are going to have times where shorting is going to happen. Essentially, this Bitcoin short ETF thing is like Bybit on a large clientele scale. Right, okay, so just before I get into my top 5 coins, let me just say hello to you guys, because I have essentially covered most of what has happened. But a lot of people, I would say, as a result of my polls on Twitter, which will give you a good indication of how people are feeling about the market, is that people are generally not as bearish as they previously were. So people are predicting that 50% of people, 55% nearly of people have predicted that the bottom is in between 20 and 14k. That's quite a high range anyway. But there is less so of the range that is kind of 13 and under, which is where many of the top analysts are predicting that it's going to be going. So I would say this is leading to a change in sentiment. And people are thinking, this last poll I did, why do you buy now? People are just DCAing to the bottom, and people think we are at or very near bottom. So this is essentially bearishness not being as extreme, which I think is a perfect catalyst for it to become bearish and probably more bearish than ever. Because the people that are turning bullish are going to turn bearish again, and therefore lead to an even bigger impact. So let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. So who we got in the house? TCF Saf, King Kush, Severns, Canna Startup, Powell, Mohammed, Brad, Fighting Fish, Victor, Chemo, Herco, Reverend Flashback, Renee Stock, Nissar, John, Sando, Lindsay, Robert, Russell, The How To, Stefan, Mizwa, Harry is in the house. He's actually here right now. Kiran, Adele, Steve Nen, Julian Tapia, Victor, see you at the party, Victor, Buddy Holidays, June Bugsmith, Tony Adams, Crypto Philly, Killer Gorilla, USA Local SEO, Suresh Reddy, loads of you guys in the house today. Love it. There are a few questions, but I don't want to spend too much time answering questions. Manny Alvarez, thank you for being online. Been listening to your channel, Noam, many years. Thank you for all the support you've given me. Saved me a lot. Love from Israel. Nice. Nice. Shib's top holder started his own project to give back. Squid Grow. Okay. I've had my hair cut. Actually, I wouldn't say I've had my hair cut. I cut my own hair. you gotta be saving money wherever you can these days. That $10 could buy, okay, it's a bit more than $10, but could buy some Solana. Why spend it on a haircut? So I can do it myself. Anyway, right, okay. So there was this website back in 2018 which was very popular. It was called the all-time high coinindex.com. Now I think this has pretty much not been used at all in recent times. This predates CoinGecko. And what you can use this site for is you can use this site to see what percentage have these assets gone down, have crypto assets gone down based on their all-time high. So you can see some quite big falls. Luna, obviously. Bona. So anyway, yeah, so you can see some quite big falls. But ultimately, whatever asset you want to track, let's have a look. So let's see MOONBEAM, for instance. You just go have a look down here just a little bit. So instead of going on CoinMarketCap and go all the way down, you essentially go on all-time high coin index, and you've got the information pretty much right there. So it says here that the all-time high is $19.50 of MOONBEAM. Now that is open to interpretation. There have been all-time high figures such as $40, $38, and even as high as $430. Okay, but this tries to get it from as an aggregate of what other exchanges have been able to record. So it's a good website. So what I'm going to be taking you through is my 5 cryptocurrencies which I am going to be buying. So without further ado, let's just get right into the action and stop messing around, essentially. So, a disclaimer first of all. I am not a financial advisor. All cryptocurrency investments are risky. Do not buy without doing your own research. Me talking about this coin is not a recommendation or indication you should buy, you should hodl, or you should sell this cryptocurrency. Literally provides you with information from my point of view as to where I see prices going, the target buy, the target sell, the long-term hodl momentum of a cryptocurrency, but from my opinion, and it's for educational purposes. Okay, so all these predictions expressed here, personal opinion. Do not forget that. Okay, so top 5 long-term hodls. We have now entered a market where mid caps and large caps from the height of the previous season, the one that's just gone, that ended in the end of November, where we saw all-time highs, we have now entered a period where what was large cap and high mid cap have now gone into being mid cap or nearly low cap. In some cases, micro cap. So you are able to buy the top creme de la creme cryptocurrencies, ones that have built network effect, marketing, community, all of this stuff, but without the price reflecting that. So the price reflected it in November, but now it doesn't reflect it. The price and the value are at odds. So what you have got to see is the value, not the current price, and just use the current price in order to be able to get these cryptocurrencies a fantastic knockdown. So what I'm going to be taking you through are the projects themselves, the target buy price, what is the average target buy price I am looking to buy in at, dollar cost averaging, looking at the picture that I foresee where we've got a lot of pain, max pain ahead, and a lot of bloodbaths ahead. The all-time high it has achieved thus far. The target sell, which is very likely to exceed the all-time high, because I'm looking to hold on to these for at least one cycle, but because of the grandness of the scope, multiple cycles. And the multiplier that they achieve. So, first example, in at number 5, is Mina protocol. Mina is backed by the best of the best. It's the smallest blockchain on the planet. It essentially turns a humongous supercomputer into a MacBook Air. Okay, so it becomes the most lightweight blockchain and infrastructure in the whole of cryptocurrency. It uses zero-knowledge proofs as a way of reaching consensus. So the validators do not need to look at the physical amounts that are being transacted. They use a zero-knowledge proof algorithm, essentially, that says that the information is true, and that is how they scale. Now, Mina at this present time, I think is a powerhouse, but you would not think it was a powerhouse because of the fact that it only scales to 22 transactions per second, which is a roughly mid-range of what Ethereum is right now. Now, Mina at this present time, I think that presents a perfect opportunity to get into Mina because it has not been fixed yet. There is no ETH2 solution as of yet that has come to save Mina. When that comes, it's going to be too late to get low prices. So Mina, in my opinion, presents a fantastic opportunity. So my target buy price for this, so it's double this right now, my target buy price for this is 30 cents. The all-time high that was ever achieved for this cryptocurrency is $9. I foresee that this is going to hit $30 at least, and that from the target buy price would be 100x. Now, Mina has already achieved almost a third of that, having not really been able to pump with not really a lot of liquidity into it. But I personally believe that come the next super cycle, layer 1s are going to go up 5 or 6 leagues from where they are now. They are going to be elevated. And the ones that have got the best investors, the most institutional buy-in, are the ones that are going to be well connected to get that lion's share of liquidity of all these cryptocurrency layer 1s looking to be the next Ethereum. And so Mina has already achieved a third of the way there. So once it builds an ecosystem, which they got 92 million going into ecosystem building, led by FTX Ventures, one of the biggest venture capitalists. So this presents a 100x opportunity. But as you can see, this is my number 5. So obviously, the other 4 present even better opportunities. In at number 4, which hopefully you can see because I know my face is covering it, is Solana. You probably can't see it. So Solana has achieved a $260 all-time high. It currently is $40. Now, in the recent past, they are launching now a blockchain phone. They are looking to compete with the big boys. They are looking to evolve from being a cryptocurrency project into being a massive business, into being a huge crypto business. And Solana has the marketing, the top of mind benefit to be able to achieve that over time. Now, I am looking to get Solana at $10. Now, this is probably going to be very tough. However, I got Solana at $1 anyway. I just didn't buy enough. And I rode that all the way to the top. $1, $300, 300x. But I think there's going to be another opportunity. With the blood coming up, Solana has already achieved $29. So it's already lost 25% of where it is today. Okay, so it can lose that at minimum. And I think that at maximum it could lose 50 to 70% of where it is today. Because I think that the coming bloodbaths are going to test people's resolve. It's going to be a real test of people's hodl mentality. It's going to be a real test of people's actual long-term belief in cryptocurrency. People are going to second guess. They're going to be like, oh, maybe crypto's bad. Maybe I shouldn't get into crypto. Maybe I should stick to stocks or something. No, right? But this is going to be perfect. This is going to be perfect ingredients to be able to get Solana at best price. $10 would be the absolute best price. If it gets $10, I'm making a humongous buy into that. The all-time high is $260. I foresee this is going to achieve $1,250. Not, it may say $125 from what you can see right now, but I imagine it's going to hit $1,250. I thought this would hit $1,250 if Bitcoin hit 100k. I think over multiple cycles, $1,250 is easy. $1,250 is easy, I think. If you can get it at $10, which really requires... Don't be like me necessarily, okay? Don't wait for it to... If you were interested in Solana, don't necessarily wait for $10. I'm waiting for $10, but you don't have to. Get it at 25, get it at 20, whatever, you can. Because ultimately, if you get it for $20 and it hits that $1,250, which I think is easy, then that would at least be a 60x anyway. Right, a 50 to 60x, which is pretty awesome. And Solana you can hold for multiple cycles. You know, if it doesn't hit 1250 in the next cycle, it'll hit in the one after. It's going to last, I think. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to bring it down. It's had a lion's share of FUD, and it's still not been brought down. So this will be 125x if it hits my target buy and my target sell. In at number 3, we have got Elrond. Elrond, I think, is a powerhouse. And the target sell price I've put here, I actually think is modest. All right? So, Elrond, my target buy price is $25. Now, it's currently sitting at $60. I wish I'd never brought a video out on Elrond, because I don't think Elrond today would be over $60 if I didn't bring out that video. So, Elrond, I think, it has gone down to $41. I think that if we get a cascade effect on the market, this could get brought down to its knees. $30, if not less. $20 is what I said would be my best buy-in price. But I think that I have pushed the goalpost out a little bit now. And I think 25 I'd be lucky to get. So anyway, $25, its all-time high is $545. It's ridiculous. Where it stands right now is nearly 10x, what it was. 10x less than what it was. Which just goes to show you, this is a powerhouse potential. In a bull market, this can absolutely fly. And therefore, my target sell price is $3,000. Now, why do I think this has got $3,000 potential? Well, the reason why is because of its store of value qualities. So most cryptocurrencies have either an uncapped supply or an unlimited supply, and they've got ongoing inflation. So it'll probably be, most layer ones have an inflation rate of 4 to 6%, I would say. Now, Elrond has got a current inflation rate of 9%. But that is because it's got a diminishing inflation rate for 10 years, okay? And once 10 years is hit, no more new coins will be minted. It will essentially be static at 31 million token supply, if it even gets there. Now, that is only 10 million more than Bitcoin. And given that Elrond has real, huge, large-scale mass market appeal, simply because of the fact that it is incredibly fast, it's incredibly cheap, it's a lot like Solana. Very, very fast transactions, very, very low-cost transactions with no downtime, unlike Solana. So Elrond to me is a fantastic store of value as well as infrastructure. So if it hits 3,000 based on getting in at $25, that would be a 150x. Now, I probably may not sell at $3,000. I may sell it years and years in advance. I may hold this one till well past 2032, which is when inflation stops. And I'll show you the inflation rates very, very shortly. But either way, this will have diminishing inflation, whereas most other cryptocurrencies, including Solana, including Velas, including Moonriver, they have ongoing supply forever. In at number 2, we have got NEAR protocol. Now NEAR has gotten to $3. So only needs to lose another 50% with all the cascades I foresee coming. Now, the all-time high of NEAR was $20.44. So it has roughly come down. So this is roughly already come down 10x. Okay. Now all I need is for it to go to that $1.50 and be able to plant that buy. If it hits $1.50, I don't care if it goes down to $1. I don't care if it goes down to 50 cents. I will be very happy with $1.50 because I think NEAR is the potential next Solana. I called Solana before it came to Solana. I called Solana before it even came on the market. My first video on Solana was back in April 2018. My video on Solana, I had 2 videos, one in October 2020 and one in January 2021 when Solana was still a single figure dollar coin. Right? I called Solana before it became the Solana it is today. But NEAR, I think, is the potential next Solana. I think NEAR has the potential to usurp Solana over the course of time. Because I imagine that every single influencer is going to jump all over this for now and through the next cycle. And it's going to be the one that they take up to the heights of the top 10. So, I think that hitting $20, it was only really beginning to achieve some network effect. But now, it's been drastically taken back, giving everybody a second bite of the cherry. So, I think this will hit $250, which would present a 166x. It could go much, much higher. You know, $250 is only a 10x from its all-time high. This is not considering the potential lifespan of 5 decades that NEAR could be around for. All right, so $250 could actually be cheap. It could be like selling Ethereum at $9. But, you know, I would be happy 166x should I get into that target buy price and leave a bit to free ride forever. Then in at number 1, we have got, you'll probably have guessed it. In fact, before I do that, what do you think the number 1 is? Let me have a look and see what you guys are saying in the interim. I want to buy land on the moon. Elrond has a 1.3 billion market cap. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You know, Ethereum reached a 140 billion market cap in 2018. And that was 2018. It reached even higher than that when it came to 2021. Right? Don't use market caps as a ceiling because the cryptocurrency space is going to grow. Like, think about it. When I first entered cryptocurrency, the entire global market cap was 30 billion. 30 billion. Now, you know, Pulse Chain's going to open out at 30 billion probably. That just goes to show you how small the market was back then. But via network effect and adoption over the course of time, is that the goalposts move. The market, Bitcoin will be multi-trillions. It'll be 10 trillion one day. Even more than that, $10 trillion asset. Which means Ethereum will also be a multi-trillion dollar asset. So something like Elrond going to 200 billion is not unheard of. It doesn't, to me, because of its store of value qualities, it could be almost the next Bitcoin. So you never quite know. Can you move your head? I will minimize this so that you can get a proper screenshot. So everybody seems to be guessing it. Yeah, I would say that 90% of people have guessed what my number 1 is. So my number 1 is MOONBEAM. So MOONBEAM at this present time is hovering about 70 cents, 67, 70 cents. I want to get this basically back at the beginning. I want to get this at 25 cents. Now, the all-time high of MOONBEAM is $19.50 according to all-time high index. And this is without all of the network effect being built right now. So there's a 100 million fund led by... who's it led by? Oh, yeah, Arrington XRP. Arrington Capital. Huge premier VC that's helping to increase MOONBEAM's ecosystem. They've also got a recent initiative, which I'm going to take you through in a minute, called Harvest Moon, which is they are building a DeFi-specific ecosystem. Now, essentially, MOONBEAM, unlike NEAR, Elrond, Solana, has never been able to build value. It's never actually had a bull run because it came out essentially in January. All right, properly, it came out December, January. Like I said, after we had the bull season. So this is not an indicator. We don't have an indicator of where this would have hit at its peak. This could have been a $400 cryptocurrency if this had come out in October. If this had come out in October at, $10, this would have gotten bought up probably to $400. Basically, $400 was the opening price day one of MOONBEAM. It's just it wasn't able to get massively sold off because all the people that had gone in at seed stage and the take flight event stage didn't have their tokens to be able to sell. So it didn't have that massive liquidation, although it did obviously lose a lot of money. But that is because that is what happens on day one. That's what happens on launch day for something really, really hard. But this never came out in a bull market. This never has had a sustained, 3-month consecutive bull rally. So that, as a result, opens it out to massive value down the line, right? Now, if you're able to get it at 25 cents, because the illusion isn't there. It's not got the Solana illusion where it's already hit $260, so people know it's a powerhouse that's just been taken down. People don't yet know MOONBEAM is a powerhouse. So MOONBEAM, in my opinion, is way more exciting than Polkadot. Why anybody would put Polkadot in their top long-term hodls and not MOONBEAM actually beggars belief. It surprises me dramatically. I think it's an insane decision to do that. Because I think MOONBEAM is the layer 1. It's the DApp ecosystem for Polkadot. Polkadot is not a DApp ecosystem. Polkadot's a layer 0, right? It is not exciting layer 1 technology. MOONBEAM is essentially Polkadot layer 1. Right, it is essentially Polkadot. So, I plan to sell this at $100. Now, I don't necessarily think $100 is going to be achieved in the next cycle. I think the next cycle could be about $50. Could be a bit higher, maybe $60. But I don't necessarily think it's going to be $100 straight away. But I think over the course of 3 bull markets, this will hit $100. In which case, I am going to be hodling it for a 400x multiplier. I call MOONBEAM as one of the biggest projects in the space, but it has not even had a chance to achieve that. But it's building the value right now. So this, I think, is going to be the premium buy of this bear season. So there we are, people. That is it. So now if you want to copy this, screenshot it, there you go. It's right there. Right there. So, Mexico. So let's go back. So, MOONBEAM, at this present time, 66.8 cents, 65.8 cents. But it's got megarific volume. Now, if we have a look, this is what was published yesterday by MOONBEAM. Okay, so they have got Harvest Moon, which is a MOONBEAM DeFi campaign. So what they're looking to do is they are looking to build multi-chain DeFi applications, ones that are essentially Web3 enabled, essentially. So you are going to be able to use your Binance assets, your Ethereum assets, your Solana assets, your Avalanche assets, and you're going to be able to use them in one app, rather than using Trader Joe for Avalanche, using Radium for Solana. You just use one DeFi tool that manages all different applications. So that just goes to, and one of their newest ones is Moonwell. Moonwell is a tool, or should I say, is a product of this Harvest Moon. And this is a DeFi protocol which allows you to earn a good interest. Now, who is in Moonwell is the question. Well, look, they've got Coinbase and they've got Arrington XRP amongst their investors. They've also got bigger names as well. But Coinbase and Arrington XRP, these guys are getting involved in a MOONBEAM DApp. That's that. So that just shows you that they're more bullish on MOONBEAM, because they're even investing in a DApp on MOONBEAM. So it just goes to show that MOONBEAM has incredible potential and has incredible backing and incredible confidence behind it. Okay, so I think that MOONBEAM has got a very, very good future, and Moonwell, which is that DeFi ecosystem, had a fantastic start yesterday. If this had come out in more bullish times, not only would MOONBEAM have gone up, because everything with a layer 1, basically everything relays back to the central body, which is the layer 1. So this would have done really, really well. Bear with me a second. There's just somebody spamming. So let me just put on timeout. Using timeout. Anyway, yeah. So had MOONBEAM come out much better, had MOONBEAM come out in a very bullish time, had it come out 6 months earlier, there would be different illusions surrounding it. But it came out at a perfect time for me. If I'm honest with you, I didn't give a stuff. If not even a single one of you likes MOONBEAM, I don't care, right? Because I want to get MOONBEAM as low as possible. If I got MOONBEAM at 10x off this, if I got it at 0.065, so 6.5 cents, I would put 7 figures into it. And I would essentially want to be MOONBEAM. I would want to take over MOONBEAM just like Elon Musk taking over Twitter, right? MOONBEAM is the one that I really want. Okay, more than anything else. Okay, so anyway, there we are there. So then we got Elrond. So Elrond is I hate what's happened with Elrond, if I'm honest with you. I hate that it has just gone up so dramatically. So if we have a look at the Elrond Pi model, you should probably be able to see most of this. So the Elrond Pi model shows you the inflation rate. Okay, so at first year is 10%. Then 9%, then 8%, then 7, 6, 5, 3 in year 7, or 4 actually. Then it just goes down dramatically. And from year 10, no more. No more, because max supply will have been hit. And therefore, that allows it to be able to be like, it's already kind of like Bitcoin right now. But it essentially puts Bitcoin all the way in 2140, when there is going to be no supply but demand. Okay, so what you've got with supply-demand models is that the less supply there is, the supply shock mixed with high demand equals price shock. All right, but what this is going to have after 10 years is essentially where Bitcoin will be in 2140, year 2140, which is essentially no supply going into circulation. So everybody that owns it, that's the only supply you can get, plus massive demand, and that is going to allow Elrond to explode, I think. Elrond's biggest explosion is coming in the future, in my opinion. But getting into it now means you ride all of... Because same with Cardano, that becomes deflationary in 2030, right? But it has done megarific X's till that point. You know, it has done a 200X, going from 2 cents to $3. Whatever that is. Just under 2 cents to $3. So it did that without it being deflated. It did that being inflationary. It did that without smart contracts, right? So this will allow for essentially price appreciation over time, because the inflation rate is going to decrease over time. People are going to be getting into it more and more over time as they build apps, build the ecosystem, etc. Then that means that getting into it now will probably be getting into it during this bloodbath, which could be between now and 2024, I think is going to be just probably the best ever, one of the best ever investments you can make, like an all-time best investment. Near Protocol, obviously, Near Protocol, I've given you an analysis of Near Protocol, which essentially this is going to be it's a multi-sharding network. It is hugely scalable, and they are already building a massive ecosystem around it. So they have already got, they're already building multiple dApps in NFTs, in DeFi, in Metaverse, in decentralized social media. They've already got initiatives going there. They're building a stable coin as well. Quite a similar way to Luna, actually. So this is essentially going to be the Luna that didn't happen. Okay, so Luna was supposed to be a powerhouse. I think Near is going to take that. It's going to take that spot, essentially. As far as Near is concerned, as far as investors are concerned, look who it has got. It has got Alameda, Arrington XRP, Blockchain.com, Coinbase. It's got Fundamental Labs, they're pretty good. Pantera. That's probably not a good thing. And then they have got A16Z, which is Andreessen Horowitz. Previously it was Andreessen Horowitz. So 1, 2, 3, 4 Premier tier. 4 Premier tier investors in this. You can look at all of the top cryptocurrencies, and most of them don't have this investor list. So that means they're going to get on FTX, they're going to be on Coinbase, they're going to be on Binance, they're going to be on everything that you can get massive amounts of liquidity from. So there we are. Then we've got Optimism. Now, I haven't covered Optimism in today's top 5 long-term holds. However, what I would say is that Optimism has a very good chance of competing with Polygon. So Optimism and Polygon are both Ethereum scaling solutions, okay? But the difference is that Polygon doesn't have the security of the Ethereum network, whereas Optimism and optimistic rollups essentially has the scalability of Ethereum for dApps, but with the proof of work security of Ethereum currently, of ETH1. And over the course of time, because people have said, what is the point of Optimism? What is the point of Polygon after ETH2? And I've got to admit, I've been asking the same question. But when ETH2 eventually becomes ETH2, it's going to be only capable of 1,000 transactions a second. Okay, it's better than the 15 to 40 transactions per second that it's got now, but it's still going to need scalability to be up there with the likes of Elrond and Near and Solana. It's going to need to scale up to Visa level over the course of time, because Ethereum, I don't imagine it's going to go anywhere. Ethereum's going to still be a powerhouse. It's going to be like Bitcoin. It's going to have huge amounts of use case utility over the course of time. It's already been told it's not. It's already been badged as not a security, so it's going to last multiple cycles. It's never going to be affected by the SEC. It's going to last multiple cycles, therefore giving Optimism the way in to actually increase in value. Optimism would have made my top 5 hodls if for one factor, and that is that it's got a 30% inflation rate coming soon. All right, so that 30% inflation rate is essentially going to take the supply up to, I think, around about 1 billion tokens. Okay, so 30% of the max supply. I mean, it's ridiculous. The inflation is going to take this. It's going to basically take this to 1 billion circulating tokens, which means that without the token price even going up, this is probably going to be 1 billion market cap without the token price hardly going up. That pisses me off a lot. Okay, so that is why Polygon is possibly still a very, very good bet, but Optimism is what I would go for because there's more room to travel. Because if you have a look, if Polygon's at 4 billion, Optimism's at 128. In between now and when inflation comes in, this can make some good multipliers. But that is my only problem with it. So the difference between Polygon's market cap and Optimism's market cap is a factor of 38. So 38x less than Polygon, with the security of Ethereum for dApps, whereas Polygon does not have that. Okay, so Polygon, again, like Solana, was one I brought you. So I should know if something has promise. And I really think that Optimism would be such a fantastic proposition if A, they didn't do the airdrop, and B, they didn't have such a high inflation rate for the first year. After that, it'll be okay. Right, okay, so let me get to your questions then. Let's have a look and see if there are any questions, in fact. So we've got Stephen Martin, we've got Glenbert, Junaid, Angie in the house, Crypto Knight. Polygon has secured its long-term dominance in the crypto space. Well, there's long-term presence for Polygon, without a doubt. And remember, I bought you Matic before it even launched. I met what's his name? What's his name? Sandeep. I met Sandeep in India in May 2018. So I met him way before Matic, right? And I already foresaw the promise of Matic. But it will have a presence for sure, but does it have a lot of upside? No. That's the thing that you've got to remember, is when you're a cryptocurrency investor, it's upside potential that you're interested in. Obviously, fundamentals are very, very strong, but mixed with upside potential is what makes a good investment. If you're going to invest in something that's going to make 5x, why bother? Get into Netflix or get into Amazon or get into a stock if you want 5x. But if you want 100x, then you've got to go for something that's got upside potential and the fundamentals. Hence what I've covered today. Gala. Yeah, Gala's very good too. Question for Suppoman. Have you thought of using a voice filter to make your voice less high pitch, I think you meant to say? No. I prefer my voice being heard authentically, because that is what I think people either like or don't like. Bear with me 2 seconds. Super, what do you think of Storage? Storage's been around forever and I don't like it. What do you think of StellarSwap? Not a lot, if I'm honest with you. Like, I think a lot of these dexes for MOONBEAM None have really stood out so far. So you had SolarBeam, StellarSwap, Convergence. You got a few already that are out there, and none have really actually become the official MOONBEAM DEX. So, I think at this present time that is still to be established. Okay, we've got potentially 2 years till we have a sustainable bull rally. Potentially. Save for the fact that at any point we could get this spot ETF. I think this spot ETF is going to come not soon, but I do think it's going to come pre-halving. I do think it's actually going to happen. Even though they're like Bitwise, whoever they are, confident in a spot Bitcoin ETF being approved soon. They did get what's it called? Grayscale did get a top-notch lawyer to help them put through this spot Bitcoin ETF. And given that SEC have put through a short Bitcoin ETF, I think a spot ETF is coming. But I don't think it's going to be timed until we've hit a bottom. And I don't think we've hit a bottom yet. When the bottom comes, I think this ETF will come. And then from that point, there would have been, hopefully you'd have got the perfect bottom buy, and then bang, it goes up. As soon as this is announced, it's gone. It's all over. It doesn't really matter whether a recession hasn't come yet or not. It's definitely going to happen. Cardano, Cardano also has a good chance, actually. So my buy-in price for Cardano would be 50 cents. 50 cents, okay, which would be basically 75% of where we are now. So quite an ambitious target. But the all-time high of Cardano, let's just use the all-time high index. The all-time high of Cardano was like $28. $28, okay? So let's assume 50, so 28 divided by 0.50. That's already a 56x built in if you get a 50 cents. Right, you've already got 56x built in, because I think Cardano will more than likely hit that again. And then all you'll really need is for Cardano to do a 2x on that, and then you've got over 100x. The thing is with Cardano is simply the inflation rate, because the miners get a lot of Cardano released. Make sure a lot of Cardano gets released, and that is my only issue with Cardano. It's a proof of work cryptocurrency, but unlike Bitcoin, etc., is that you don't only unlock a little bit of supply, you unlock quite a big supply, and a lot of supply is there for miners. So mining it is probably the better solution. So that is what took it outside of being in the top 5 for me. And you can see I'm very, very strong on the fundamentals. The real Stagger Crotch. Cardano honorable mention. Yes, so I hope that I've just done that. And thank you very much for the $5. And Andre, thank you very much for the 25. That's wrong. Bear with me a minute. Zilliqa will be the next big crypto? No, wait. I'll buy it because it has moon in the name. Good. Actually, not bad rationale, Larry. I think that is a pretty sound. There we are. Look, Bitcoin's back in the 20s. What did I say? So, what we've got here, as you would have seen, is that we've got all of these various support and resistance lines, and this is everything the price is going to hinge on right now. Is everything the price is going to hinge on. So essentially, if Bitcoin can go above 22.5, then that means it will go up to 25 or 30 maybe, right? But it needs to get all the way up to that area, and there isn't much support built at this area. So let me just move this up a little bit. I think I'm slightly off. Oh, it's about there. Yeah, it's about there. 22.8 would be the main resistance for Bitcoin. There's probably another one right here. Yeah, there is another one right here, actually, 22.2. So, yeah, so now it's all about support and resistance. And where is the volume going? Is it more bullish or bearish? And at the moment, it seems like it's definitely more on the bearish side. So these are all the support areas for Bitcoin at this present time. This is all you need to know, all right? The absolute bottom of the move is 18,000. Go below that, and we are in very bearish territory. Go above 22.7, and we're going to go into bullish territory. But I think even if we do, it'll only be setting up Bitcoin and the rest of the market for shorts. I don't see any long-term pumps now. I don't see it. Could happen at the end of the year, but I don't think so. Get more questions in, people. I will be online for another 5 more minutes. Suppo, what criteria do you use for target price entry? So this is not a repeatable. It's not a repeatable formula. All right, this is something that is done with experience in the market, seeing where the market is going to go, seeing where Bitcoin's going to go, and then foreseeing how this will affect altcoins and the momentum downwards they're likely to experience. Whether it's very, very temporary, whether it's almost like a flash crash, or it's going to be a bottom for a few weeks or days. So so it's purely a mixture of TA and intuition. Okay, that is how I find better target prices. Sometimes I miss it because some bullish event may occur that prevents the bottoming event. But I think that these should hit as we hit recession. Super, you bullish on Moon River still? Yeah, I would say $3. I've bought some already at $10, which I bought on the Saturday. So it's going to be a case of just adding more as the market deteriorates. You know, the market, I think, at the moment is just being set up for shorts. Yeah, it's just being set up for this. Okay, so the Bybits, the BitMEX, I don't even know if BitMEX is around anymore, but definitely the Bybits, Binance, loads of shorting tools that exist on current exchanges, plus the ProShares Bitcoin short ETF. I think are just opening out. The market is being prepared for people to be able to short the shit out of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the other key assets, which I think is just brilliant. It plays into my hands perfectly. So I'm not complaining. You know, this is a time when I don't complain about that at all. What do you think about Ronaldo ex Binance? Yeah, I thought it was interesting. I don't think it's that brilliant. I don't think it's that incredible. You know, but it's probably something that will undoubtedly get the market pumping. Hey, Super, do you think there'll be an 80 to 90%? Shut up.
I don't have an answer.
Hey, Super, do you think there will be 80 to 90% dip for PLSX? Worth waiting until it launches? I wouldn't say 80 to 90% dip for Pulse Chain, no. And the reason why is because it's going to essentially come out with all of its supply owned. All right, so the only way to be able to buy Pulse Chain is by relying on what is a very cult-ish community, which is the Hexicans and Pulsicans, to actually sell it to you. All right, and I don't think they're going to sell it to you unless they've made sacrifice price. I don't think anybody's going to sell it under sacrifice price. So I would be very surprised if Pulse Chain had a massive dip. Pulse X maybe, but not Pulse Chain. Pulse Chain, I imagine, is going to be held pretty strong. By the way, there's some Gita. By the way, Suppo, thanks for not only having us answer surveys for nothing and for making lives more often than we all asked for, but that's why we all love you so much. Your haircut and your voice. Thank you very much, Gita. I really appreciate your compliments. Compliments get you everywhere. A British guy is the foundation of StellarSwap. What do you know about it? Nothing. I can give a stuff. I think that's it. Moon River 1000X. See, a lot of people say to me, oh, Moon River has a fixed supply. MOONBEAM does not. Right? So, MOONBEAM, as you'll know, MOONBEAM has an unlimited, uncapped supply, and another reason why I'm hopeful that it will go 25 cents is because they have got another vesting unlock to come. I don't know when exactly, but they've got a vesting unlock to come. Is it August? And I think that's going to dilute the price again. I think that's going to make. I think that's one of the last vesting unlocks as well. So it means that it probably increases the chances of getting MOONBEAM a little bit lower. It depends on when that release hits. But either way, MOONBEAM and Moon River have the exact same mechanics. MOONBEAM has a 5% inflation rate plus uncapped supply. So does Moon River. People think that Moon River has max supply of 10 million. It doesn't. It will keep going up and up and up and up forever. So it's the same, exactly the same. The difference is that I believe that demand will be higher, much higher for MOONBEAM than Moon River. Therefore, the demand can overtake supply. Whereas with Moon River, I don't think so as much. The only difference is that Moon River has had all of its unlocks. It's had all of its unlocks. It's still going to have the inflation rate, but it's had all of its unlocks. So it means there should not be any big dilution event now, other than its natural inflation, its natural yearly inflation. But that is why it's a good idea to stake Moon River and MOONBEAM, so that you're not actually having your hodlings devalued. Okay, so what happens with the dollar, US dollar, is the reason why you are missing out is you can't stake the dollar, and the interest rates on savings are shit, right? You don't get a 9% interest account, right? You get a 0.3% interest on your savings, right? So that means you earn fuck all, and the inflation rate goes up, and you're just less less well off. Your dollar has less purchasing power. Whereas with MOONBEAM and any cryptocurrency that you hold, if you aren't staking it, then as inflation happens, you're not getting any of that inflation. You're not getting extra supply. You're just sticking on what you've currently got, and therefore your purchasing power is just like with fiat. So you've got to stake to get the benefit. So make sure that you're staking it. What do you think about moves? Love moves. Love moves. And they've got an initiative going on TikTok at the moment. They are still trending positively, I think. Still 31x, still 31.6x on its IDO price. Very high volume. It's over 2 to 1. So it's got very good liquidity considering the market, considering probably hardly anyone knows about this, and considering its singular narrative as well. Suppo, sounds like you dumped your Stratos. No, I don't. I haven't dumped it, but I'm hodling it. And I'm not going to dump it at this price. It's just stupid. That'd be idiotic. Is staking MOONBEAM risky? It shouldn't be. If you do it via the proper channels, so I think it's Stake Glimmer is the official one. And you can also do it on Binance as well. What do you think about Bone? Bone's okay. It's not quite as exciting as Shiba, but as the Shiba ecosystem goes up, then I imagine so will Bone's value, natural value. Any Sigazas? Not much in the way of questions. Oh yes, of course. Well, Bone is the governance for Shiba, for the Shiba ecosystem, yeah. So yes, so it has got so it's a native currency for Shibarium, is it really? I thought it would have been Shiba. But I obviously yield farmed Bone last year. V-Kerr, haircut making you look sexy. Oh, thank you. I think that's it. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think I've answered most of the questions. $50 cal, ouch. Don't know what that means. Scale. What do you think about a star? Yeah, the star's okay, but again, I don't think that it's... You know, it's a little bit like... It's a little bit like... Oh, okay. No, hold on. I want to say Solanium. Soldex Radium. Right, okay. So I personally think that, like, a star is like the Solanium of the Polkadot ecosystem. And MOONBEAM is the radium. Okay? It's essentially the better one. Alright? So, therefore, MOONBEAM is better. So, I don't see really any point in betting on a star. But, yeah, star's roughly the same. I do know about Scale, yes. But I don't care for it, if I'm honest with you. By the way, people, I know I haven't asked. But I would be very, very appreciative if you were to, quite literally... Just smash that like button. Just smash it. Just tap it. would be very... And it animates in front of you, so it gives you a benefit to doing so. Suppo, on a personal note, what do you do with your cash on hand so you don't lose purchasing power? Well, I don't use much purchasing power in hodling stable coins. So I'm not doing any DeFi or yield farming, if I'm honest. I don't do that because I don't want to be put in a situation where I'm in a Celsius or in a, what was the last one last year? Poly Network or Voyager or Luna. I don't want to put my funds into an ecosystem and lose my money. So I just don't do it, if I'm honest with you. I wait for good protocols, maybe. Whoever, I smashed the shit out of that button. Thank you very much. Valis is dead? No, it isn't dead. But it's probably dead right now. How about Pond? Pond, pretty similar to... what's it called? Pond is pretty similar to... Polkadot, actually. Let's have a look. Who is in Marlin? Investors. Look at this, man. Look at this. A21, Arrington, Binance, Coinbase, NGC, Fenbushi. Like, they don't have many in the way of investing organizations, but what they do have is basically 8 out of 10 are the best. Like 80% of this is the best. But I've tried to get in contact with Siddhartha of Marlin so I can give this a proper review. Seems to still be doing okay, but I haven't been able to really get hold of him, and if I'm honest with you, it's pissed me off a bit. But I think it's a fairly strong project. I invested in it at an IDO price. Let me have a look and see what the IDO price is actually of Marlin, because you may actually be able to get it near to that. It won't be IDO, it'll be ICO, won't it? Let's have a look here. They don't have a price. How weird. I can't even remember the price it was when I invested in it. One pond? Oh wow, so it's actually under ICO price. So it's 2.5 cents was the ICO price. So you would be getting it under ICO price, which to me I think is pretty amazing. Where is it? Yeah, stop it. Marlin. That doesn't sound right. They must have increased their supply then. Must have increased their supply a lot, because I would not have invested at IDO in something that was nearly 50 million. Well, it would have been nearly 100 million. Right, I think that is it, people. I think that you have all been around, supported, listened, heard everything that's worth hearing. Oh, that was what I meant to say. A star is a bit like ontology, and Moonbeam is like Neo. It's a bit like that. Okay, Neo was the preferred project out of that ecosystem, so I think will Moonbeam be. Super, I want to help my sister to make some money in crypto. Which one 100% short 20x would you suggest for 2024? For your sister, so she didn't get upset. So I think Ethereum will hit 12,000 in the next cycle. If you get it in 300, that's a 40x. So if you were able to get Ethereum at $600, that pretty much almost, not guarantees it, but I think it's pretty certain to hit. So that would be my advice. Don't get her into a risky alt, because she'll just hate you, hate crypto, will leave forever. File, GRT or Flow. Don't care for any of them. Right, okay. What's your opinion on Neo? I still hodl Neo, but I don't really give a shit about it, if I'm honest with you. Right, okay, people. Thank you very much for being here, and I appreciate your attendance. And let me know in the comments, what cryptocurrencies are you fundamentally strong and keen on, and what is your target price and what is your sell price? That would make me very interested to know what's out there, and I will of course consider any other suggestions. But till next time, people, I've been the Suppoman, you have been amazing, and I'll see you next time. It is lights out, all out. Let's face the music and dance. Let's face the music and dance.